Hello and welcome to a special Metal Hammer podcast interview. I am Merlin from that there Metal Hammer podcast, which is why I'm talking at you right now, otherwise that would be weird. With me is heavy metal DJ extraordinaire, Lady Starlight. How are you?
I'm okay.
It is fantastic that you're here. Thank you very much for joining us. What's been going on?
It's my favourite.
It's your favourite?
Yeah, my favourite place to be.
That's what I want to hear. We know you're in town because you're with your mate Lady Gaga. You're playing Twickenham this weekend. And you'll be over in Manchester as well, I think. And is that Europe wrapped up, or do you go back out onto the mainland after that?
We go to Dublin after that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That'll be good fun.
It'll be fun.
How's it been going so far for you?
It's been the best thing ever. It's so... We've just honestly hit... when you're touring, I prefer to do as many gigs as possible. Time off is the enemy.
Oh, okay.
You just go, so you don't have time to like miss home or anything. So we've just been blazing through and going to like Latvia and Lithuania.
I've never been to Latvia or Lithuania.
I would never be able to get a chance to go there, and I always like would look at a map and say, oh, I wonder what that's like. It's really cool.
Now you're just throwing darts at places. Let's go there.
Yeah,
let's go
exactly.
There. Let's go there. Excellent. Now your show is one of the most unique shows I think I or anyone else has seen. You obviously came over with Gaga. It's almost a couple of years ago, actually.
Yeah.
Now, the O2 shows.
2010.
And so people who maybe aren't familiar with your what it is that you do you want to just kind of describe what a Lady Starlight show is like? What your DJ sets are like?
Well, my set now is different. It's another beast entirely.
Fantastic. Well, when I saw you before, I just think you remember seeing quite a lot of people digging it, but a lot of kind of young Gaga fans staring kind of slack-jawed at you,
confused and scared,
playing "Rain in Blood" by Slayer.
Yeah.
While waving an umbrella. So it was
I did my "Singing in the Rain" bit to "Rain in Blood."
Exactly.
So, it was the funny. I mean, I approach it with like total humor, and I love to. My objective is usually not entertainment per se. It's entertainment, but also pushing buttons. If I'm not doing something that's going to make most people sort of, ooh, what's going on there? Then I really don't want to be bothered.
It's basically entertainment for yourself.
And select few.
Yes. No, well, we saw a few people headbanging. It was well, I've never seen anything like it before. So what are you starting to do now? Are you able to tell us much about your set? I know.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, when this goes live, the UK shows probably would have already come through by then. So
it's no big secret. It's all on YouTube. You doesn't allow anything to be a secret.
True that.
I wish that you could ban performances from being from YouTube, but
then all the little internet people would have nothing to talk about.
I know, but I'd like to be in control of it. Control the world.
YouTube will be mine. So what kind of stuff are you throwing in now? What are you doing differently that compared to what you were doing when you came over last time a couple of years back?
Now, see, you were there, so you remember. There was always I brought a performance element to DJing, and now I've sort of taken most of the DJing out and just do the performance.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah. And it's like mostly progressive rock.
Oh damn!
Metal,
you weren't pushing buttons before.
Yeah, it was getting too popular. I was like, wait, too many people are getting this, so I had to change it.
Got that Gaga fans and their Slayer loving. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I get like tons of letters of people who say, in fact, I just got one the other day, saying about how they listen to Maiden and Slayer now, and thank you for almost like all the time.
Amazing.
So
that's awesome.
I would like to, my goal is to make more metalheads in the world.
I think you were definitely achieving that.
And I feel very proud of any contribution I've made.
Yeah, it's definitely
that one fan.
I mean, growing up as a metal fan and stuff, when did you first start DJing? When did you first decide that was something you wanted to do? Because there's very few female role models in heavy metal anyway, let alone prominent female metal DJs. It's like such a small kind of corner of our world, if you will.
Right.
So, I mean, where did you first start to take an interest in that?
Well, New York is a bad town for heavy metal.
Really?
Yeah. New York does not like metal and just doesn't like rock in general. It's all about...
That's interesting.
It's really bad town for rock. Now, Long Island and New Jersey, the surrounding areas, are all about metal. It's, it's funny, but in Manhattan, New York City area, it's just never been very popular.
I never realised that at all. Mm-hmm. I think you just kind of assume because it's such a famous kind of hubbub of culture and stuff that you just assume that...
Think about, The only good metal bands that have come out of there are like, you know, from Queens or whatever. And that's like, well, Anthrax are from Bayside? And that's almost basically Long Island. So.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, growing up there, assuming you grew up in New York as well? Or?
I didn't actually. I grew up upstate New York.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, how did you end up falling into the whole DJing thing?
Well, I just, simple, I want this to exist, and it doesn't, so I better just do it myself.
Outstanding.
Yeah, that's amazing. How all the best things happen. You're like, well, it's not there, so, and I want it to exist.
Yeah. So, I mean, where did you take inspiration for the more kind of performance-based aspects of your sets? Where did you start to bring those in, and where did you take influence from? Well,
that came from, before I DJ'd, I was a go-go dancer. So, and does not mean stripper.
No. Just put that
I was fully clothed, just everybody's like, oh, you're a go-go dancer, but I'm like, okay, in New York and the States, go-go dancer means a clothed dancer.
Yes.
Usually. Unless you are, well, yeah, sometimes strippers say, I'm a go-go dancer when they're really strippers. But I was not a stripper.
Sort it out, strippers.
And so it just kind of, and another reason why I DJ'd, and I think that I'm a good DJ, but it's because I was a dancer first, so I know what good songs to dance to. And not many people can come from that perspective of being the dancer in the party and then becoming the DJ. It's the best thing, because you know what works from the outside perspective. And so it was just kind of this natural progression of bringing that performance to my DJing. It was kind of the whole thing to begin with. Was I was a go-go dancer and a DJ. And then I thought, oh, well, I should just do it at the same time. And that's what happened.
Excellent. I mean, another thing since I've seen you last that's changed, which is only since kind of like summer last year, I think you came over for the Maiden shows. Like your kind of look has really changed a lot. You got the contacts in, and like the long slick hair and this like coat, this cloak, I should say. Looking pretty kind of sultry vampire-esque, I would say.
Yes.
I mean, do you kind of consciously sit down and think about the way you want your image to evolve, or do you just kind of pick up little bits and bobs and it eventually becomes what it is?
Yeah, it just comes to me in my head of what needs to happen.
Cool. I mean, was there any particular idea behind this look? Because it looks great, but it's definitely different to what the kind of thing you were doing last year.
I wanted to be able to wear, I feel like this, I don't know, it just made sense in my head. I needed something different, because I feel like I have to transform over time, or I get really just, you know, I'm constantly evolving as a person. Everybody is. And if you don't take inspiration from other things and keep moving forward, then it's like you kind of get stuck.
Yeah, sure.
And, you know, it's hard to say, because I never know where these ideas come from. They literally just come from my head, depending on what music I'm listening to. I just have these ideas. And I was just talking about the treadmill. Me and the treadmill are like the best creative partnership ever.
Amazing. It was actually talking about a treadmill, that's not like on a DJ Buddies with a cool nickname. That is actually
no, it's actually a treadmill. I should have my own line of treadmills. That's not a bad
idea. Get some with some rad speakers installed into them.
Studded.
You can have that. We'll go on Dragons then. We'll take over the world. It'll be amazing. So yeah, well, I mean, that's really cool to hear your thoughts on that and to hear kind of where you come from, because it's clear that, you know, a lot of people obviously associate you with Lady Gaga, but you're certainly, in our world, people are starting to realise how much you know your shit and how much, you know, you do what you do kind of in parallel with what she does, and it's I think people are really interested to hear about that. And speaking of which, you cheeky podcast fans, have been sending in questions like the wonderful loyal lot you are. Loads of questions, so we could only pick a few, but we really appreciate people sending them in. Jay Humphreys says, how do you like your eggs in the morning?
Whites only, no butter, no oil, omelet, spinach.
Amazing.
Yep.
Wow, that's a lot more specific than I thought it was going to be.
Yep, I love eggs every day.
What is your... Oh, here you go. Chris Parker gets another question. Anyway,
okay,
so it's
good.
Fine.
Okay,
this
cool.
one's a proper question as well. Do you have a favourite metal band or album of the modern era? I think people often associate you with bands like Priest, Maiden, Rush, Vandergraaf Generator, these really classic seminal bands. But are there any bands from kind of the last 10 years that you really love and you're really behind?
I love Opeth.
Oh, excellent choice.
Bridge of Sighs.
Choice. Nice.
Sick.
Nice.
I love that album. So.
And they have got more and more proggy with each album. Heritage was just like, wow.
Fabulous.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Approving of the prog.
I have not met them yet.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Oh, I know they're in town.
There.
We had the classic rock.
I'm
prog
waiting.
Michael, if you're around, sort this out.
Call me.
Collaboration. Come on.
Call me. My number 718.
I thought you were going to go for it there. I was like, Michael Samaka says, I'm really sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, mate. Says, what is your favourite song to play and why? I'm guessing he means dropping into your sets. I know they're always changing, but do you have one at the moment in particular?
Like in terms of, I would say.
Could just be your favourite song because it's your favourite song, or favourite song because you most enjoy the reaction, or.
You know what is one of my favorite songs is Foreigner, Hot Blooded.
Nice. Okay.
Or if I throw that one in, or Carry On, My Wayward Son.
Nice.
That's a good one.
Cool.
Or Boston More Than a Feeling. I like the ones that are like poor, like bordering on poor taste.
Yeah.
Very tacky.
I don't know if Boston are bordering. I think they're just straight out.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I was being nice.
Samu Dantatir says, do you wish your decks were ever made out of cheese so you could have a mid-gig snack?
I do not eat cheese, so no.
Oh.
It's too salty.
If you could have cheese, it's too salty. I never even thought that.
And too fatty. I'm always trying to lose weight.
I'm always trying to eat more cheese. It's quite an interesting one. Timothy M. Walker says, is metal chauvinistic? We kind of talked about there being a lack of prominent female idols in the metal scene. I mean, have you found there's ever been much of a chauvinistic attitude towards you and what you do? Or
You know, I really haven't. I just think I think that the reason that there's not so many females in metal is because it doesn't resonate with women a lot. It's not that men are trying to keep you out of it, or there's an attitude that you have to overcome. It's just that there's something about the themes and the emotion brought out by metal that I think a lot of women don't relate to more than anything.
Okay.
I sort of think all my role models are always men, and while I'm not like a manly woman, for some reason, themes of power and
beards.
Yeah, and there's something about the power behind metal and how it makes you feel so powerful and badass.
Yeah.
That's how I want to feel.
That's cool. That's cool. That works. Oscar Cromlick Hart says, who would be in your ideal supergroup? That's quite a big one.
Yeah, that's a bad one. A good question, but a bad one for me to answer.
Yeah. Would you have Brucey up front? Maybe the Halford? Ronnie J? Just throwing some ideas out there. Mostly my choices, but...
Yeah, why don't you tell me what yours are?
Mine? No, this is... Well...
And then put it in my words. And then overdub my voice.
We can't do that. This is a podcast. Yeah, I was about to say I can't answer it for you.
Okay.
And I would like...
Okay, I can do this.
No
okay,
kind of
on
well.
bass, Geddy Lee.
Nice.
Duh.
Nice.
On
Would you have
drums.
him on vocals as well, or? Would you have him on vocals as well, or?
I love the vocals, but I think not.
Not for this band.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's too. No, there has to be separate people. There has to be a vocalist only.
All right, fair. Okay, so Geddy Lee from Rush on bass. Who's your drummer?
Drummer, Guy Evans, Vandergraaf Generator. Favorite.
This is already getting very proggy. I can see where this is going.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm like, wait. Okay. Can you tell I've become completely obsessed with prog?
Yeah, that's fine. So we need a guitarist. You're allowed to pick multiple band members. From the same band. I can.
No, that's not fair. That's lame. I can't do that.
All right. Fair.
On guitar, Dave Mustaine.
Oh, wow! This is an interesting band.
I think it'd be good. I think it's going well.
Nice. Okay, cool. So we got amazing. What a mix we've got so far. And finally up front, who's your front man or woman?
That's a hard one.
Bearing in mind that Mustaine and Lee both sing, so they'll be sitting there looking, you better be good because you're taking my thunder here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a good background, a good backing vocal
That's
section.
a hell of a backing vocal section, yeah, for sure. But who's going to be up front, Starlight? Who's it going to be?
It's a big one. Me.
Pointing at you.
Lady Gaga.
Invisible pointing at Lady Gaga. Oh, fair. You know what? I would watch that. That would be amazing.
Wouldn't that be a great band?
It would be a fucking killer band. I think she could pull that off as well. Why not? We got one Gaga related question. I suppose it's inevitable, this kind of stuff. But it's a question people are very interested in, actually, and it is a fair point. Elliot Lever says, we've all seen the pictures of Lady Gaga hanging out with Nico McBrain and Bruce Dickinson, but how much does she actually love Iron Maiden?
She absolutely loves Maiden.
Okay.
So I can't really say how much, but you know, when we went to the show, it was like, so it affected her so much just to be, you know, because again, New York is such a non-metal town that she didn't have much of an opportunity to really get into the scene so much in New York, growing up in New York especially. And, you know, I think what was most important about it is that you can look at a band, you know, when you're pop star, it's a lot of pressure, obviously, to have a #1 single.
Sure.
And you got to be on top, And to see that this band has selling out the same arena that we were performing in, and never had a hit single.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like inspiring on a level that's like, okay, it's not about the radio. It's not about money. It's about your fans. And people, you know, your fans, it's all about the fans.
Absolutely.
So, and
That's
she feels
awesome.
the same way. And it was like, okay, look, this is awesome.
Definitely. And she got a song called Heavy Metal Lover, which is, you know,
Yeah.
it ain't a coincidence, people. Listen, thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you. Really looking forward to the show. I know you just announced some US dates, so if you're over in the US at any time in the early spring, go check them out. Are you likely to be back over here doing any of your own shows soon? Have you got anything in the pipeline in that side of things? Or I know this kind of takes you right up till 2013 and through that. So
yeah, there's not at the moment, but if anyone's looking for a DJ, call me.
Michael Ackerfeld.
Call me.
It'll happen. Thank you very much. We'll speak to you soon. It's been wicked.
Awesome.
Cheers.
I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.